Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to my small backyard vegetable garden here in central Victoria. Out of curiosity, yesterday I came up and measured the temperature of this garden bed that I had top dressed. To my surprise, just like now, it was 18 degrees. Now, that made me start thinking, which can be dangerous. So down this end where I didn't top dress it as much, it is 17 degrees. I am continuing around the garden. This is 14 degrees in the soil, which then dropped to 13 degrees. So that's soil temp. This is the garden bed that had the Brussels sprouts in, which I did not top dress heavily, just some cow manure, and it is sitting at 15 degrees. So 18 degrees is telling me that there is some composting going on in that bed. 18 degrees tells me that tomatoes can be planted into it. Now, we still get frosts here well into October. I always play by the start of November, but try and get them in early with protection. So it had me thinking, could I plant some tomatoes and have them protected this early? It also says a lot for, like, I was thinking about the pot that I put in, the hot pot, and maybe that was too small of an aim and that I should be thinking more of a hot compost bed, which is not going to get to hot, but as in to raise the temperature, just getting it composted and nutrients in there to get the soil activated. Gardening in these raised beds is all new to me. I am just coming up to a year since I got this first one filled. So it is a huge learning curve, and what I am able to grow in it and raise the temperature of the soil to get early plantings in. Just like when the temperature was dropping back in autumn, I was able to get things in and get them going. But it is such a learning experience just trying different things, which I absolutely love because that's how I learn. Now, with spring comes the grass growing, weeds growing, so trying to stay on top of that. My poor tortured grass will need some work happening on it. It is quite compacted where I walk all the time, so I'm going to do some aeration and a feed, but I'm going to keep the grass down so it all starts growing at the same time. And also it is snake season, so they are going to be on the move. I do not like having any tall patches of grass around, just in case. I've put a gate up at my little potting bench so Hunter can't go right up to the gate, and I'm just going to be doing these things as I go into the warmer weather. But let's have a look at the seeds. These are the tomato seeds that I sowed that were stuck to the paper. I think there's very good germination there. They have not had a problem with the paper or the temperature, and I am extremely happy and have far too many tomatoes already if they succeed and keep going. In here, I've got the tomato honeybee that was seeded much earlier, but they are at the same stage. Sunflowers, very good germination. I think I had one roll that had 10 and the other two had 8 out of 10 in each roll. The calendula and the cosmos have done really well also. This is the penstemon cutting of the pink one that I absolutely love, the little fine one. It's there, and I had to take the covers off the rhubarb just to see the effect. There's another one up there which is looking good. Also, I'll go around and show you that. Moving down here, that is the salvia cutting that I had over in the pot. There's another one down further also. This is coming up to flower, so it has done extremely well. The alpine strawberries have little fruits. And this is a pile of garlic that was sitting in a basket after I'd planted up. I'm going to put it all in under here, and even if the garlic doesn't work, I will enjoy the flowers. They will be good for the pollinators. The red cos is slowly moving along under their little glass houses. There as well. Sometimes the birds take a little bit of wool. Getting back to the bed temperature, I had to go to Bunnings yesterday to try and find some cow manure, and I couldn't resist. So I've bought a punnet. It cost me $5 and I'm going to experiment. These are good size plants. They're not little tiny things, and I'm going to plant them in the bed and see how I go. I'm not expecting miracles, but I am keen to see what happens planting them out this early in a warm bed with some frost protection. So let's go get on with that. Here it is, the cozy bed. It looks so cozy. Just move this back so Hunter doesn't run down between the rainbow chard and looking for peas and run into the table. Let's just check the temperature of this bed again. And I have some large jars that I found at the op shop, and I had a couple that I used to use for my sourdough starter. I'm using smaller jars now. So I have 4 jars. They're number 31 Fowlers. That's all I could get at the moment. And look, the temperature has gone up to 19 degrees. So I am extremely keen to get on with this. There is far more tomatoes than 4, but I am going to divide them up between the 4 holes I will dig and hope that maybe one grows. And if not, we can have multiple. I don't mind. I will put a tomato cage over it if they survive. If they don't survive, I'm not too fussed by it. If they sit and sulk, I will take them out and make use of the tomatoes I have. But if they take off and grow, then that's fantastic. I do want to maybe move the arch to one of the ends so that it makes it easier to get around the back of the arch. So I plan to do that after the peas are finished and before I start planting this bed up fully. And I'm also going to have another arch like that over the other 2 garden beds. I'm just going to clear off these lower leaves so I can plant them quite deep so that they can be down in that warm soil. Down like that. And then I'm going to put the jars over them. I'm going to remove the jars during the day when it's a warm day so I do not have any moisture in there and they go slimy, so that there's plenty of air getting around them. And I think, looking at that I will have to try and find bigger jars. I think I do have some large coffee jars, you know, those Makona jars. I think I have a couple of them with some things stored in them, so I will be grabbing them and looking for another couple of those at the op shop. just so the leaves aren't touching on the glass as much as these, but I am keen to get these in, so this is what they're going to have over them tonight. Apparently 16 degrees is the minimum temperature that the soil should be for planting tomatoes. This is 18 and it had gone up to 19, so this will be interesting. I did also do a trial of molasses. I don't know if anybody else has heard anything about that, but blackstrap molasses mixed in water, very weak solution. So I did give that a go. Also, I only put one pour over it, and I also added some to my compost bins after the cold. I thought it might help activate the heat in those also. This garden bed is looking lovely with the broad beans and the peas out the front. They will be a perfect height for a hunter. This is his favorite picking spot. It looks a little overgrazed. So he's just enjoying life and eating his weight in snow peas or sugar snap peas. I'm loving all this rainbow chard and mix of leaves. I really need to do a little bit of work. I've moved the bigger pots and I'm going to move this little twiggy fence just over a bit so the path is equal to the other side. I have been thinking lots about what I want to do here, and I am going to change what I had originally thought. And this is the thing when you rush and set something up, that you don't have time to think and be in the space. And this year has given me that chance to be in this space and think of what is most important.